ever episode of CTGTV.
Cool.
GTV, as I just said moments ago, and what is this, man? What is this?
I don't know. I mean, we had a few ideas milling around in our heads, but then at convention season this year, we were pushed to do it all online, and so got born out of that.
Yeah. So one of the things that being forced to do online conventions exclusively this year did was it forced us to spend a lot of money. And what did we spend that money on? A whole bunch of cool equipment to be able to handle online conventions. So hopefully you had a chance to see a lot of the Gen Con content that we put on, a lot of the UKGE content that we put on. But that was 2 weekends really of intense work and programming. But where do we go from there? And one of the things that we thought would be really, really fun is to kind of take that and turn it into a monthly live stream. So that's what this is. That's what CTGTV is. This is the first ever episode, and we kind of see it as a central touchstone for all chip theory news, all chip theory announcements, all that kind of thing. One of the things that we see a lot now, though many of you are backers on multiple campaigns, we're announcing things over here in the Cloudspire campaign. We're announcing things over here in the Too Many Bones Splice and Dice campaign. Yep. And in November, we'll have the Burncycle campaign going. And there's a lot of exciting stuff that crosses over throughout the entire chip theory universe. Yeah. And we, historically, outside of our blog, haven't had a place to talk about it all in one place. Right. So that is what CTG TV is. Now, what is most interesting to you? We did a survey. Asking you what you thought would be the most exciting content. And though we didn't get a flood of responses or anything, you guys told us what you wanted to see. Now, one of the options on there was just full-on comedy segments.
Oh yeah, that would have been great.
That would have been the best.
Yeah, dad jokes all day long.
Yes. I think only one external person voted for the comedy segments, if I remember. Because I believe it got about 4 votes. I think 3 of those. 3 of those. One was you, one was me. I think Salem, who you'll see later playing Cloudspire, was the other. So you didn't want the comedy bits. I don't know why. Really, what you guys said you wanted the most was product announcements, was rules and strategy explanation, updates on development. I think those were the top three things that everybody was looking for. Yep. And so that is exactly what we plan to give you, with hopefully a little bit of entertainment and comedy sprinkled throughout, just so that we don't get bored.
Right.
Now, coming off of 2 big live streams from Gen Con and UKGE, it's tough to... we made a bunch of big announcements over the course of those 2 weekends, so we don't have a ton of new stuff in that vein for you in this initial episode, but that really is the focus of where we want to take this moving forward. So,
I'd say one of the biggest things and one of the advantages to doing it this way versus, a web page update, a Kickstarter update. We came off of those series of conventions with a lot of content, and content that we could roll out over the following weeks, as you've probably seen on our different social platforms and whatnot. And it was a way to kind of bring everyone to a central location for it. And so I'm excited about that piece being there for us to have a consistent place, but also a lot of kind of drip feeding all of the information that we have through one source. So
absolutely. So you can expect a lot of the same types of things that we just talked about, but also some of the other stuff you saw during Gen Con. Things like, Anthony teaching you how to draw things. Right. Things like trivia contests where you have a chance to win prizes. Spoiler alert, there will be prizes today just for watching. So we know we're going to have a fairly limited audience for this first episode, but all of you, should you choose to take it, will have an opportunity pretty much to win a prize today.
Yeah,
which
stick
is awesome.
around.
Yeah, you have to stick around for that. But yeah, all that kind of stuff, and we're excited about it, and it also, again, makes us feel a little bit better about dropping the significant amount of money we did to get all this stuff up and running for our online convention season. So, with that, let's jump into some of the stuff that we announced. I think there's a lot of exciting stuff coming. Probably the biggest one is during UKGE. We announced that starting today, we will be doing a monthly TV show, online web stream called CTGTV.
Hey.
You can... No, I'm sorry. Let's talk about something we announced right before Gen Con, going into Gen Con. Hoplomachus Victorum is coming to Kickstarter
next year.
This coming spring, with any luck. You guys have probably all seen that, heard about it. There is a really, really great Q&A with myself and Adam Carlson that you can go back and watch from Gen Con, talking a lot more about this. But we announced a full remaster of existing Hoplomachus content, and then Hoplomachus Victorum, a big box, solo campaign.
That's the big key thing.
Yes,
is solo only. Like, we've talked about that for forever. Is like, could we do just a solo game, and this was a perfect fit for it. Like, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, so there much more to come on that in the coming months, but we just wanted to highlight that one more time. A little thing called Burncycle.
Small thing.
Small game. Let's tell us about Burncycle. What has been happening in Burncycle development? So the next segment you're going to see actually is going to be with Andrew Navaro and Anthony LeTourneau, our artist and studio director, not in that order. Studio director and artist on Burncycle. And they're going to be showing off a little bit of new concept art from the game. But how has development been shaping up? I know a lot of people said, you guys were really ambiguous about a lot of things during the Gen Con Q&A.
No, that's a great lead-in question. I would say, so as much information we didn't give yet on that game, we're way ahead in my mind of where we were with Cloudspire at a similar period of time before the Kickstarter, and that's just it's part of what we've done always with our Kickstarters. Is we've led with an idea, we've brought that idea forward, but then we listen really hard to the feedback, the vibe that we get in with the community in these Kickstarters, and we let that kind of seep in and affect the remaining design as much as we feel comfortable allowing it to. But with this day and age, like, Kickstarter has made that huge shift to being something where product needs to be almost completed by the time you launch, and it also just makes good sense to be able to have people that have played it and are reviewing it and have those videos to post. So I can say it, like, we're growing up a little bit, and we're becoming a company that kind of needs to have their act together a little bit sooner, and all that in place. But I still think that there's a little bit of, like, I don't want to completely lose that aspect of, like, listening and hearing and being able to change still at that point certain things about the game if we see or hear really good comments or feedback. And so all that to say, like, Burncycle's a lot further along in terms of, like, it's just in general development, from the base game to, like, how we want it to feel from one corporation to the next when you're going up against them, and so, like, it's really nice to feel like I have a whole, I don't know, like, two months yet of design that can happen before the Kickstarter, and there's just a lot coming together. It's a really exciting time for development when you're seeing the art take form and you're seeing the game take form, all at different paces, but it's fun to see where it lines up. So we're going to be, like, that's a big part of this, is being able to share some of that continued progress as we go, hopefully pulling stuff out and actually showing you some of the prototypes that we put together. So
so internally here in the office, most of us are now shifting to full-time Burncycle development.
Right.
the Cloudspire content that we've been working on for the Kickstarter, for the Heroes Bounty Kickstarter. It's almost all in its final stages. And for those of you who backed that game, there will be a Kickstarter update coming probably late this week with just a few more updates on where all that stuff is at. So all of us, myself included, actually just starting kind of this week, are shifting into full-on Burncycle development. So it's going to take shape a lot faster now, and we'll be able to talk about it in a lot more concrete terms very, very soon. We're a very iterative design company, though, where things like major mechanics can change legitimately overnight. So
that's true.
Yeah. So anyway, we wait until we're totally ready to talk about something before we talk about it. That's just how that tends to work. So. Also, I forgot to mention at the top, by the way,
masks.
Yeah, masks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll notice we're not wearing masks. We are definitely pro-mask. All of us here in the office are wearing masks while we're in the office each day. One of the things that the Minnesota mask mandate allows us to do, though, is if we are performing or giving any kind of like news presentation, that kind of thing, we are able to take those off. So just for the benefit of you, the viewer at home, the fact that
one of our owners.
Yeah. Josh is an owner. We are actually family. We're brothers-in-law, so we see each other outside the office anyway. Just wanted to throw that out there. This is not in any way us trying to skirt the rules or make a commentary on being anti-mask or anything. A couple other announcements from these last two conventions. You can see here we've got
I need to get rid of all this stuff that's just like in the way.
That's a lot of really weird licensed stuff, Josh.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of a weird.
It's never. I don't actually know why it was put out here.
Yeah, that's weird.
All right,
get all that out of the way. We've got playmats coming, and these are available for pre-order right now. Here's an example of one. I actually don't know if this one is one of the ones that we're selling on the website, but we are taking we're taking a first step, or dipping our toe in the water of the idea of just selling playmats with some of our art. Separately. So this one that you see here is a desk mat. This is not meant to be a gaming mat, so to speak.
It's more for like a keyboard and like a nice large area for a mouse. So like it is meant to be in front of a computer. But it obviously could be used for Magic for lots of other.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know that one of our most popular products is our Controller Roll dice tray, both the leather version and the neoprene versions. So we have a passion for gaming accessories. We have a passion for blinging out our own games from other companies, that kind of thing. So and we know that we are known for our neoprene. So this is our next step toward just releasing some more gaming accessories. We do have some other potential products in the pipeline that you may see come in the next 6 months to a year.
Yeah, for sure. But like we have so much awesome art that is not. Like it all often ends up on a chip. So we have the lore books that we can kind of fit it in, but there's a lot of other places we can have this stuff show up. So we're gonna probably wrap Gilly in a shirt. No, we'll come up with some pretty cool stuff, and we just want an answer to a lot of the people that have like said we kind of own everything you've got. Your product line isn't super deep, and so like what else can you give us for supporters that love your games? And so like, we're just trying to answer that question. Think of some really cool stuff, but we just don't want cheap tchotchke stuff. Like we want it to have a purpose. We want it to feel high end, and that's sometimes hard to find in that industry. Is like finding a really high end mug. I don't know. Like
you all keep asking for mugs.
It's been on the discussion. We'll be talking about all of it.
But more of those types of things to come. But these mats are pre-orderable right now on our website if you're interested in one. Otherwise, we will have a limited number of each print in stock, I think, within the next couple months. So the goal, I think, is by the holiday season to have these all like on hand and ready to go.
And if you do end up getting one, we'd love to hear your feedback on how what you think of it. We're trying to make this as high end as we can as well, nice and thick, and the price we want it to be really like right in there, if not on the cheaper side of what you would normally pay for a mat that size. So give us your feedback on that.
Yeah, absolutely. We announced the next portion of the promo pack, the upcoming 2020 promo pack. Now these are the Chinese versions. So in the Chinese release of Bones, there are 3 unique baddies that that Gameland, our manufacturer, put in the Chinese edition only. Now, these are available for purchase. The actual Chinese versions are available for purchase over at Board Game Geek in the Geek Shop or Geek Store. Yep. One or the other. So you can get the actual Chinese versions of these right now. However, we are indeed putting English versions of these in the 2020 promo pack. Now, I'll mention Anthony, they did a very good job of approximating Anthony's art style. These are not, the art on these is not from Anthony. They had the art done over in China. But 3 unique baddies coming to, they don't offer any new baddie skills or anything, but they do add a little bit of variety. We've got I think it's a water dragon, a panda, and a alligator. So you probably can't see them at all. I'm holding them way back here, but and then as previously announced, we do have this new swamp landmark, the Cloud Spider, for Cloudspire.
They probably can't see.
Yeah, you probably can't see that either. That's fine. There are 2 more. There are 2 more promo chips coming for the 2020 promo pack that we will be announcing fairly soon. I think I'll go ahead and spoil this right now for you, our faithful few. One of them will be another Halloween edition chip for Too Many Bones, another character chip. So we've got slasher patches already. We've got the kind of Freddy Nightmare Picket, and we are doing another one for Halloween, and then there will be another one around Christmas that's coming. So stay tuned for those.
Yep. What else we got?
I think that's kind of it in terms of big announcements that we made over the slate of the conventions. I think the one question I am seeing online all the time, though, and that, again, this will be coming in an update for Splice and Dice soon, but anything you can tell us about the fulfillment of trove chests, because everybody wants their trove chests. The people who backed it, the people who pre-ordered it, the people who bought it in Cloudspire.
I think it's one of those questions where I would say it's like the more and more we've put into it, the more exciting it's gotten, but also the more intense it's got when it's not yet here. So like we're so close. Like did we confirm we got a notice, a shipping notice in?
That one ended up being a false alarm. It was a false alarm.
So it's like we've heard that there's been container touchdowns in the U.S. and in the EU. So we're close, and that speaks to like they're going to want to move these fast because they take up an insane amount of warehouse space. So they want them in and out. So we expect to hear from people real soon.
Yes. So you'll see in the update coming again sometime this week. I believe in the EU they're actually slated to begin shipping by the end of next week. Yep. Again, we're going alphabetical by first name, which I don't know, a little strange, but that's the way that we're handling it, just because that's the way that our data was set up in our spreadsheets.
Next time it will be second letter of first name. I think.
They are arriving in many, many, many containers, kind of staggered. As they finish them, they're putting them on containers and getting them out the door. So they'll be shipping over the course of about the next 2 months, but the first wave of them will start to go out, I think, by the end of next week. We'll be talking more about that in an update coming this week. So, that's pretty much what we've got for you in terms of this opening segment. So we're going to transition now to, again, I mentioned Andrew Navaro, our studio director, and then Anthony LeTourneau, our house artist. They have been hard at work continuing to develop the work of Burncycle. So we are going to go ahead and throw it to them to show you some new concept art for Burncycle. All right. Thanks for watching.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Josh. I'm Andrew Navaro, and I'm joined by
Anthony LeTourneau.
Hi. We're gonna talk about art. Are you excited for your trove chests?
I am. I'm probably more excited than the pre-order.
I don't know if because we get product for working here, but I wasn't here for that Kickstarter, so I don't think I'm going to be getting one. That's okay. My Bones collection is woefully small, so I only have a couple of products.
I'll let you see mine.
Okay, well, thank you. It does look really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing images of that showing up online as people as it arrives at their home and they load it up and then promptly hurt themselves trying to lift it.
Yeah, lift with your legs,
Yes.
not with your back.
All right, so as Josh mentioned, we're going to be talking a little bit about Burncycle today. We've been working on some of the artwork, starting with the bot designs. So for those of you who aren't aware what Burncycle is a game set in a dystopian future where there's a oppressed robot population, and you'll be playing as the robots, and really assembling what amounts to like your heist crew for jobs. So you'll be infiltrating corporations, taking stuff, doing other things to undermine the establishment. So we're starting with the bot designs, and I think if you look at a movie like Ocean's 11
Right,
or
yeah.
like Heat,
Yeah,
where you have those archetypal roles fulfilled by various people, we're doing that same thing for the bots. So we have I think a larger cast than that ultimately. I think we're starting
yes,
with about 10, but we have another 10 on top of that. So I think we're going to be showing today a lineup of some of the bots that we have in progress with the final designs for a couple of them. So we're going to be showing casing and memory, and obviously casing is the muscle, and memory is he's the spy master.
right. Yes.
Let's talk about these. How have you enjoyed your experience so far?
It's I'm not normally a mech designer, so it stretches my skill set a little bit to get into that world, but I've enjoyed it. The biggest challenge for me in designing that world is personality, because you're dealing with inanimate things that have to convey emotion.
Yeah.
And so that's been the greatest challenge, and history of cinema has been able to walk us through how that's done, and so I borrowed some of those ideas and pulled those in, but it's been a process of learning, and your direction has helped me kind of like make some adjustments, make those inanimate things breathable and thinkable.
And I agree. I feel like when I think into last week, I was so excited about the designs where they were. I was like showing it to my wife and talking to her about I think there's a lot of parallels I feel between the designs that you're doing and some of the designs you've done in Too Many Bones, where there's, I think that personality, I think, really comes through, and I think the way that you imbue your characters with personality, I think, is one of your great strengths. And I think that is definitely coming across so far in the bots. So far, I think, since we're focusing primarily on the design, they all look very, very serious.
Yes, they do.
Because it's a pretty serious setting. But I think Ryan Howard's been doing work on the backstory, and I think he's going to be writing backstories for these characters too. So I think when we do like the artwork as it's going to finally appear in the game, I think that's going to be an opportunity for you to bring even more personality to it.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'll be excited for that.
So I guess let's start. Maybe talk about casing.
Okay.
We have some sketches that show a little bit of how that character has evolved a little bit. Originally started out, I think all the bot names were all different. So
yes.
yeah, so we kind of like moved a bunch of labels
I did
around.
some basic sketches, and you've thought, well, some look better in this format, and so we just kind of flipped it. And they actually plugged and played some different parts to them.
Totally, yeah. Casing started off also with a kind of like unicycle wheel, sort of like Memory also has.
Right.
But I really liked that unicycle being more of a unique feature to a character. So got rid of that giant wheel, which we a tire, which we might maybe reuse for a different design later on. I grabbed the legs of someone else, and like as soon as I did that, I was like, oh, this is kind of like feeling like a gorilla.
Yeah, especially his skill set being that muscle.
Yeah. So like I just doodled really quickly, like with like hands, like the knuckles kind of on the ground, and then like you took that like in the very, very gorilla direction, which I was really happy to see come through.
And being that muscle, I wanted almost to kind of convey, because I'm so agrarian in my life, to to pull in some of that farm all tractor feel, which is some
Oh,
of
yeah,
those
yeah,
ideas
yeah.
that I was kind of playing with in that design.
Totally, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, so I think we've been talking a little bit about like
Yeah.
mixing up colors and stuff,
Yeah.
and that makes a lot of sense to me now that tractor, because I was kind of because there was a different design that Anthony had done that used kind of like a construction
Yeah.
yellow with some like those caution
Right.
lines. So I tried that out with casing too, and I really kind of liked
Yeah.
the story you told. But now that I know that it's from a tractor basics, then that I think that can also push us in other directions.
Sure.
So I think it's important to note, like while you're looking at this artwork, that obviously all of this is a work in progress. All of it can
Right.
change. Colors can change. Character names can change. All sorts of things.
We're
can
very
change.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this is really establishing, I think, a good foundation for us to build off of. So casing's cool. I think memory is also really cool, and I think that first design that you did of this character, that kind of a just like a
Cyclops.
just a Cyclops kind of
Yeah.
look. Yeah. Also had like a little drone kind of like flying.
Yeah, there was two ideas really.
Yeah.
Originally, I was when I thought of that is like, well, he could have the wheels, which allowed him to get. I think he was an entirely different bot originally supposed to be, and the idea was that he could get around and navigate quickly. And so then I put the drone in, thinking, well, that's probably the best to kind of get around without detection.
Yeah.
But then you had the idea to put them both together.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I read it
Yeah.
immediately from your sketch. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, does this thing like detach from his head? It was, oh no, it's supposed to. Like, let's just do that. So, so I really like the collaboration on this one, where we essentially made his head is more of like a hat, that his head's kind of like underneath.
Yeah.
So I really like that kind of like the Spy Master being able to essentially just completely like get down, so it's like just
Play
its
on the
eyes.
spy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like kind of shrouded in shadow, and then allow that thing to kind of fly off and then go do stuff. And hopefully, this is one of those moments where, making art, you hope that and I know that Josh is listening right now. I hope and I think that we'll maybe take advantage of that in the design.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
And I
maybe there's a way
think
that
also the direction
move stuff around
to give him, with that Cyclops feeling, it comes back to that challenge of inanimate object giving it life.
Yeah.
So you give it a face, and that Spy Master vision, it does speak to. Well, he's got a personality. He's got a living, breathing life.
Yeah. It seems like a shady-ish
Right,
character,
yeah.
which is cool. And hopefully we'll be playing more with that idea too, of detachable things that you can maybe send off.
Yeah. That I know of. There's one other one that we already have in development that has that feature.
Yeah. And also, like, if you could tell from the silhouette, we're going to be playing a lot with scale, so a lot of
Yes.
very large bots and very diminutive bots have a lot of variety there. And I think, like what you mentioned, I think the important thing is that we can, whatever we do with the designs and the final artwork, that we like really make that the character of the bots come out.
Yeah. Coming back to that Ocean's 11 Heat idea, which one plays their part. Yeah.
So, if you could like name your favorite like robots from media, like design wise or character wise, or a combination of both, what would they be?
Well, media being broad.
Books, comics, movies, whatever.
Well, the first one I can think of that for me, when I think of inspiration for designing robots, goes back to the 80s. I was an illustrator in a studio back in the 80s, and there's a Japanese artist, Soyama, and he would do these female figures in chrome robotic form.
Did he do them at Metropolis Robot?
Yes, I believe he did. Yeah, I think that was his. And so that design kind of like started me thinking through robotic designs, even before I was doing anything for this work. Just like anytime I would do a robot, that would be the one I would always come back to. He's not super intricate in a lot of the mechanics, but just kind of giving personality to a robot. So do you have one?
Oh, I had this conversation with my friends a couple nights ago, kind of in preparation for this, And I was kind of thinking like there's a couple robots. The design wise, I think probably my favorite robot is probably Legion from the Mass Effect series.
Oh.
Very, very cool. And it's just a pretty cool story behind that character in general. But I feel like character all time, probably Data from Star Trek.
Yes, that makes sense.
That's
yeah.
It's tough to top unless you're like just despise Star Trek. And then we were talking a lot about like R2D2
Sure,
and
of course. Yeah.
C-3PO
C-3PO.
and like
BB-8.
they're but they're kind of a pair, like they're really made better together, so it's hard to like really like I think when they pull them apart they're not as personally, I don't think they're quite as interesting. My friend very much disagreed with me there, but but yeah, it's but when I was little, I was really inspired by Robotech and Voltron.
Yes.
I did a lot of drawings of Voltron when I was very young. It was fun.
It's so popular.
Yeah.
If you deal with cinema, you can't beat the robotics of Keanu Reeves. Just kidding.
Did you workshop that one? That was pretty good.
No, but along those lines, along Matrix lines, there is the Sentinels.
Oh yeah.
That design of that aqua.
All the coils and
octopus,
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Probably T-800 from the Terminator series,
Mm-hmm.
which when you brought up 3PO, you have to think that those designers used 3PO as an inspiration to do that T-800 model from the original.
Is that the Arnold?
The classic Arnold.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we brought up the Terminator too. Like the Terminator, I feel like awesome movie.
Yeah.
I don't know about the character
Right.
as much,
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, definitely that's like Terminator's fantastic, and that robot's super creepy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So creepy. I mean, my wife was so wigged out watching it, even in college. She had to turn it off. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other ones that I have on. More recently, Ex Machina.
Oh yes.
Which comes back to the Sorayama. I think they kind of read some of that early '80s design into her and futurized it.
Yeah, that movie's very good.
It is. Yeah.
It's very good.
Just as a film.
It's haunting.
Yeah, but the design of the bot there is very interesting.
Yeah, totally. So yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be doing more of this and showing more stuff along the way. Obviously, we want to hold some stuff back for the Kickstarter proper. But I feel like
I'm sure other stuff will leak.
There's there's a good chance you'll see more of these bots come through as we finish them. So I think that probably about does it for us, I believe.
Yeah.
So I will throw this back to Josh for the giveaway.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. So real quick, we just want to give away some stuff. So
Let's do it.
We knew that this first episode probably was going to see some limited viewership, right? But we also wanted to make all of you who watched it feel excited about what you were seeing, feel excited about the kind of things that could happen on any given episode of CTGTV, and so to that end, we want to encourage you to continue to watch. And hopefully tell your friends so that next time, who knows what will happen next time.
Yeah. So look under your seats. And
if your chair has a gold star on it, you have just won a strategist pledge. Just in case any of you out there actually happen to have a gold star under your seat, that was a joke. That's not actually happening. No, so what we're doing is legitimately everybody who's watching this episode is going to get a free copy. Well, maybe not everybody, but the first 50 people.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we even have more than that watching
Probably
live
not.
right now. Yeah, which is fine. That's basically what we expected. But
Yep.
first 50 people to sign up with the link that you're going to see on your screen, or maybe seeing on your screen right now. I don't have the live stream up in front of me. Go there. We have one just research question for you. We're going to ask you to rank your top 5 favorite tyrants in the Too Many Bones universe. As we look at how some of these CEO battles and maybe even future Bones content looks
Yep.
things like that, research like that is really helpful for us, just so that we know what kind of mechanics tend to be the most fun for you as players. So we're going to ask you to rank your top 5 favorite tyrants in the Too Many Bones universe in terms of just fun factor, who you enjoy going up against. Notably, the Troll family, Nom, and all those count as one single tyrant.
Don't list all of them.
Yeah, don't be funny. Your answer will be disqualified if you list Deb and Pat and whatever. But go there, fill out that question, and fill out your contact information truthfully, because we are going to ship you. What are we going to ship them?
We're going to ship them today. We have.
He doesn't even know.
No. It's game to pick a game.
Yep. So one
Which
copy.
version?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we're going to give you a free copy of Game to Pick a Game. We get to choose which version, whether it's the Orc Council version or the Gateway Edition, simply because we have varying levels of stock of each of those items in various locations.
Yes.
So it'll be random. You'll have to deal with that. And a copy of Trip Lock. So that's like a $55 value plus shipping, and we don't even care if you live in like the far reaches of the outback in Australia. We're still going to send it to you as a thank you for watching this first inaugural episode of CTGTV. So head to that link, fill out your info, and sometime probably in the next week or two, we'll be getting those orders out to the respective fulfillment partners to be shipped to you. So hey, thanks for watching.
Yeah. Okay.
The next section, I think is going to be really, really interesting for you. So again, on that survey, one of the things that you said you really wanted to see was more information on kind of rules and strategy, gameplay, that kind of thing. Yep. And so we have, for you, Salem Scott, also known as Dart, will be taking you through the first solo scenario of the Brawnen solo campaign in Cloudspire. And that has kind of come to be known as a very notorious scenario for various reasons. It's
I don't think it was ever intended. It wasn't that we were on purpose trying to throw everyone into the fire, but it's just that we were designing all the factions equally hard. And so like when we started out with the Brawnen, it was like, well, how do we make this viable, challenging, all the rest of it? And then the fact that it's the very first scenario though of a game that is fairly complex in nature, like it just hits you hard. And so that's what we've been hearing.
Yeah.
And so we've done a couple things though to like help with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, a little bit about Salem, who will be taking you through the walkthrough. They have been our number one internal Cloudspire playtester as it relates to both co-op and solo, and a lot of the skirmish stuff as well that you'll see coming out soon. I trust them with my life as it relates to Cloudspire design. Salem broke every Grige scenario ever with using way too much of the capture talent. Found every loophole under the sun that you could find with how to abuse a landmark placement or how to whatever. So we thought they would be the perfect person to take you through this coming scenario. But just in general, we with 4 scenarios per faction in the game, we really felt like we didn't want any of them to feel like a little warm up scenario. Now, should we have done that? It's debatable. But in the second printing of Cloudspire, one of the things that we're doing, and actually Salem is helping a lot with developing this for us. We are putting a tutorial scenario in the game for you, so you can understand the basics of just the flow of solo play.
We want that to be that get a warm up scenario in without it feeling like, again, when we were developing those, I was thinking very much in the mind of StarCraft and playing the Terran for the first time, and how would that feel? And yet you don't want to feel like Terran are just the easy, the starter race or whatever. And so wanted to make sure that Brawnen could hold their own throughout, and that's how it felt. So now we have another scenario that's going to do the heavy lifting at the beginning of teaching you how to play it. And then you're off and going. So this one hasn't been touched, but you'll get to see just how to deal with it.
Exactly. But we get asked all the time, like, how do I get one renown on this scenario?
Yeah,
And so if you've
yeah.
never played Cloudspire, every scenario you're able to get a total of up to 3 renown. So it's basically 3 objectives you're trying to complete in any given Cloudspire scenario. And a lot of players, because I think of the complexity, but then also just like not really understanding a lot of the strategy that's going on, have issues on that first scenario. So we thought, both for for ongoing content to reference folks who buy Cloudspire and show them like, no, this scenario is not impossible by any stretch. Like, it's fairly straightforward actually in many respects. We thought it'd be good to get on camera one of our internal experts playing through it and showing you exactly kind of the ins and outs of how it all works. So now if you don't want to be spoiled, I mean, feel free to tune out. But we thought it would be great to have that on camera for you, and it seemed fitting too, given that the reprint of Cloudspire is coming right around the corner, and there's going to be a whole slew of new gamers that are posting on social media. How on earth do I beat Brawnen 1? So, so we're going to throw it over to Salem right now. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to fill out that information for the giveaway. But Salem, go ahead and take it away and show us how the heck do we beat Ignition.
Hello, thank you for the intro. You really hyped me up. Now, obviously, I'm a bit nervous. So I did a lot of the playtesting for Cloudspire, both on the first run, and then as well as with the most recent stuff. Got to have a big hand in the tutorial one that's coming up, so hopefully that's a great resource for a lot of new players, or even experienced players, as a way to just sort of get a better understanding of the difference between PvP and solo. Because a lot of people hype me up here in the office as being an expert in Cloudspire, and I do just want to say, I think I'm a lot better at solo than PvP. I'm decent at PvP, but if you watch the Gen Con thing, I ended up losing by a decent amount, so I'd say solo is definitely more my speed. So I have the first map set up right here. Also, I want to let you all know I am in the chat. Well, I'm not going to be typing in the chat, but I have it open next to me so I can actually read what you guys say, and I'll try and respond when I can. So I've got it all set up here. One thing that's really nice about our scenarios is they usually have a bit of randomization. Sometimes that will involve rolling a d6, so that could switch the spires around. What's really nice is that depending on the spire placement, it really can change the strategy on how you proceed, because one of them it's like, oh, this goes here instead, and having that central area can be huge, both either an advantage or a disadvantage depending on the strategy you try and use. So if you play this scenario and you get crushed, it's always a good idea to try it again. Sometimes even just being like, all right, I'm going to force myself to get a different randomization setup. So if you try again and you roll the same number, if you want to try something new, we would definitely recommend sort of experimenting, trying it with a different layout that's in the randomization. But I think we'll just go ahead and get started. So the objectives, there's 3 objectives, of course, for each scenario. And it is important to realize, too, you only need to complete 1 in order to count the scenario as a win. I know when you see 3 objectives, it's very easy to be like, oh, I gotta get all 3. And obviously, that's maybe down the line one time, hopefully be able to get that. It's sort of the same as in Too Many Bones, there's the different starting difficulties. You do win the game even if you play on the easiest difficulty. It's not less of a win. But obviously, if you're getting good at the game, it's exciting to be able to go back and try it on the hardest difficulty. So for this one, we have to defeat all of the minaret spires at the end of Wave 4. So currently, that's just this one. However, and this is important, and we talk about this in the tutorial too, it's really important to read ahead too, because if you just look at that objective, you're like, oh, cool, that I just have to destroy that. But it is important to realize that in Wave 4, the heirs will build a minaret spire on a source well of your choice. So you do have to keep that in mind. If you can find ways to plan around it, maybe you can have the only open source well be one that's super close to your fortress, so you can just take it out right away. Just things to think about. And then the next one is, so that's one objective. The other one is all air spires must be defeated by the end of wave 4. So that's actually one where if you complete that objective, you will actually have to complete the one before it as well. Not because of like you have to complete them in order, but if you destroy all of the spires, you will end up destroying all the minarets. So that's a nice one to focus on. And then the last one, and this is definitely, I know this is the one I always struggled with, and because it has a outcome where the scenario ends immediately, because you have to destroy the air fortress gate, which will end it immediately. So if some of your units are walking down the path and get to the enemy fortress, like let's say in wave 4, and actually deal the final blows against the fortress gate before you can maybe get a final shot off on one of these back spires, you could end up beating the scenario and finishing the scenario before completing that objective. So that is definitely, in my opinion, that's definitely the hardest one, not because it's hard to defeat the gate, but rather it's hard to defeat the gate at the right time. So just more things to think about there when you're looking at each scenario's layout. And then also very important to just go over the different AI rules and notes, like you can only deploy Cram, who's already starts on the map. Understand how Darb will work. He comes out in wave 3, so I should probably actually put him back so I don't accidentally deploy him early on. And he has different marks, which is in the AI notes. And then also one of the biggest things to realize in this one, and this is, I know this has been something hard to and important to realize before you get started in this one, is the way that Elfinkazi will work. And so on this Regal Lookout, so at the start of wave 1, that Regal Lookout's going to get an Elfinkazi. And it's important to realize that they will only move if they can get adjacent to an opposing hero, so adjacent to Cram. And you can really use that to your advantage. So sometimes that means keeping Cram back so it just stays there and doesn't do anything. Other times it can maybe be positioning yourself like, I know, like right here or so, and I might end up doing that later. The Elfinkazi will come flying in here. This is the only spot it can get to be adjacent, and it will detonate, dealing damage to its own spire as well. So you can use it to your advantage to that degree. All right, so wave 1 does start with rolling the event die. Let's see what I get. All right, 4. Okay, so we have to add a fortification upgrade to the bottom of 2 air spires of your choice. Ooh, that's always tough. I'm going to put one on the back here, and this does ignore upgrade restrictions. It's pretty much any time the AI is, or it's asked to do something for the AI. I'm actually going to do it on this one, just because I know I already have a lot of work before I can start taking out the damage output of that one. Whereas like these ones, I want to be able to start getting damage a little bit earlier. Right. Okay. So with that, we then move on to the income phase, which I know this takes a lot of people off guard the first time they play this scenario. You actually don't get any source to start with, which then goes into the market phase, which I would love to get that elite duelist, but obviously I do not have any income. And then the build phase, no income. All right, and then so let me get their prep. So I got 3 Harriers all upgraded. There we go. And then I'm going to get 5 CP, which for this, definitely going to go with the classic wave 1. Battleborn and Dispatch, and I'm going to do them ungrouped, especially because I want to try and get some source from that landmark. Hopefully both those landmarks is stuff I can get. Alright, so then we are all set to start. Alright, so wave 1, I get to go first. Okay. 2. Alright, I am going to take a look at this. It is a source peddler. I can choose not to reveal it, but I definitely want that source. Might hit me hard, but that's okay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and attack first with the Battleborn. So the Battleborn will take the damage. And Dispatch, and then Cram for 2. Alright. Okay, so then they get to go, and so because Darb doesn't deploy to wave 3, just sort of sits there. Okay. Alright, now let's see. There's no way this guy's not going to get targeted, so just go there. Alright, so dispatch is safe, so both of these are in range of the Battleborn, so I guess I'll attack first with the high rise. And yes, it's not surprised there. Alright, and take a look at this. Alright, we got ourselves a Grail Vipers. I think if keeping... There's not really much... My dispatch is going to have to go there, and is going to be targeted by both of these. Even if I got Cram, he'll still always be considered a unit it can defeat. So Cram can't take any of the aggro from these. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal it. This might kill my dispatch, but that's okay. And then Cram can finish it off, and I can maybe get a cool relic. Alright, so it's that. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. 1, 2, 3. Alright. And for anyone who doesn't know, Relentless is sort of, instead of retaliating with a standard attack, you roll a Spire attack die, and you keep adding it up until you get a miss or a 2, and then you add all of it together and apply the damage. So, I mean, I could have kept rolling there, but since 3 would have killed it anyway, I just decided to stop. So obviously it can be very, very scary. Alright. Interesting to see how the intro is formatted. Yeah, we're sort of... we definitely actually created a mini scenario in addition to the tutorial. So it's not just like a big wall of text. Like, it actually has a scenario table, and we hold your hand through the first wave so you can get a really understanding of what good tactics you can use and what you can do. Cram, take out the source battler. And then we sort of let you loose, as it were, on waves 2 and 3. And so the hope is that with wave 1, being able to see exactly what kind of things you can manipulate and sort of trick the AI into doing, you can have a good understanding on how to more successfully complete the rest of the scenario. Alright, so then that's me. Cram is going to take an upgrade. I'm actually going to take... I'm going to take a fortification... No, yeah, I'm going to take a fortification upgrade, because I can already take him out next with no extra damage. And if I get... Even though he's got armored, if I take a big hit from one of these spires, I'd like to have that buffer. Okay, so then the Harriers. Okay. I can still pivot, so I'm out of range of those spires. So I'm going to go there. Take it out with 2. I do get a relic for that. Edible bribery. Alright. After your unit's movement, befriend a revealed landmark minion adjacent to one of your units. Okay. So there's really only one more unit left. But that might come in handy depending on what that is. So, alright, I'm going to keep that. I know if anyone's in the Discord chat specifically, Shannon sort of revealed a little spoiler about a change that's coming to relics in the new print. I don't know if I want to necessarily spoil that here, but if you're in the chat, you can scroll up, maybe find it. But I'm going to keep it. Alright, and then... So then it's just back to the Harriers. 2, 3, 4. Once again, I'm successfully out of range. Alright, so then... So that will be in range, but only from this one. And I have that extra... Oh, I get to take an upgrade for taking out... I'm going to take an attack upgrade. Okay. So I'm going to go here. High Rise is going to attack Cram. Alright, because I'm armored, I do get to ignore the first damage. I mean, it's not exactly those words. when it's attacked, reduce the damage dealt by 1. So, yep, I get to ignore that first one, and so I actually get to keep that fortification up there. And then I'm going to go ahead and take out this Harrier. Get 1 source for that. And you'll notice I'm going to take quite a few hits here on my fortress in wave 1. That is actually super common. I know a lot of people get a little bit disheartened when they take a lot of damage wave 1. It's sort of like, oh no, how can I get through this? We definitely like to design wave 1s to sort of feel intimidating, feel a little stressful, like really put the heat on, to force you in later waves to ramp up your defense or ramp up your aggression, just so you can't sort of just turtle your way through the whole thing. But yeah, it's totally normal to get quite a bit of damage in wave 1. So he's going to go there. Okay. All right. There's not really much else I want Cram to do at this moment, so I might as well just go. Yeah, I don't want to take too many hits, so I'll take out that Harrier. And then I do get to promote, so I lose my upgrades, but I get to promote, get a health bonus. There we go. Alright, and then get 1 source for that. Okay, and then back to the Harriers. Does quick strike. Oh, oh no. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Alright. Someone says, personally prefer the matte chips from Cloudspire over the... I agree. I mean, I love the glossy, and I think it looks really cool for Too Many Bones, but I do love these matte chips quite a bit. All right, so then it takes 1, and then back to me. I get to take out the Harrier, get 1 more source, and I am just 1 upgrade away from having a fully upgraded Cram, and that is awesome, especially in wave 1. All right, so while I did take 4 hits to my fortress, I came away with 9 source, mostly upgraded Cram, 2 cleared source wells, a relic. So yeah, sometimes it's good to like really focus on getting a good map presence versus just protecting your fortress, especially if like, I mean, obviously you lose the scenario if your fortress gate gets destroyed, but sometimes there'll be scenarios where it's like, don't let it drop below a certain amount. So obviously in those cases you want to be a bit more careful, put a little bit more focus on defense, but for something like this, I'm not too worried. All right, so then we move on to wave 2. Oh my gosh. So I did forget to place an Elfinkazi here, but I'm so used to playing this that I'm like, I naturally just avoid that area, because I think the furthest I got up was here, which, 1, 2, 3, yeah, it only has 3 roost rooms, so it wouldn't have approached it. But I'm going to just leave that there so I don't forget for next wave, because next wave is where I start to move up a bit more. All right, so first things first is event die. Let's see what we got. 3. I think that's the same one, right? Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. Let's see, what do I want to put it under? I was kind of hoping for the joust. I like having the joust. It gives me extra source essentially. I'll put it under the high rise again. Oh, actually, maybe not. I'm actually going to put it under here because I think I'm going to have Cram move up to take out that. And then I'll put it under this one. I don't want that back spire to get too beefy, even if it's just defense, because there's definitely the worry of not being able to take it out before you destroy the fortress. Okay. And then it moves on to the income phase. Don't have any income. Market. All right, so this is a new rule that's coming with the new printing, and I think it's really exciting, especially for solo play, because oftentimes if you get a bad market draw in the first wave, you're kind of stuck with it for the rest of the scenario. But we have recently changed it that it actually refreshes at the start of like each new market wave. So if there's stuff you don't like, you can just leave it, and then hopefully something more. Would have loved to have that guy, but alas. Alright, so those get cleared. We get 3 new ones. And then this also gets refreshed. Okay. Well, in order to equip the mini harvester, I'd have to bring it back and then equip Cram, so that might not be worth it. What do I want to build? I'm kind of hoping to build both upgraded Battleborn and dispatches, so as nice as that convict would be... Oh, no, I have to do the convict. What am I talking about? So good. Okay. Alright, and then just because this will get refreshed, I do have to refresh that there as well. Because now that chip will be lost at the start. So, alright. Okay. And we move on to the build phase. Now the heirs are going to add an attack upgrade to the bottom of an heir spire of your choice. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back here. I hope that doesn't... yeah, I hope that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Alright. Okay, so then what's nice about this wave is I get an upgraded architect for free. And then 7 CP. And because... Oh, I got to do my build actions. So I'm going to get the upgraded Battleborn, which is 4. And there's nothing I can really build for 2. And there's no spires, so I'm going to save that. Alright. Okay, so I've upgraded Battleborns at 7 CP, so I'm going to do 2, 4... 5, 6, 7. Oh, these are upgraded. Okay, I'm going to group my Battleborns for this one. Then I'm actually going to put my convict underneath my dispatch because I sort of want him to... I want him to be able to get brought out a little bit closer to around this area so I can try and do more damage. And maybe be able to deal with the enemy units before, because Battle Hardened only protects against spires, so I don't want him to get destroyed by the Harriers and whatnot. Okay, so speaking of them, they got 2 upgraded Harriers. And regular Joust with an upgraded Harrier underneath. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see. All right, so then they get to go first in this one. So move 2, 3, 4, 2. All right. Now, here is where I'm going to be a bit more aggressive with Cram. Move them right up to there, because that's still only in range of this spire, because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yep. Alright, these guys, I'm going to go there. So, yep, they're out of range there, out of range there. Alright, so then I will have to roll against this. Okay, 1, thankfully armored. So I am safe. I will attack, so I have to remove that one. Alright, so I knew going ahead this was going to happen, but this Elfinkazi, now it can get close to Cram, so this is sort of that strategy I mentioned before. So it's going to go here, and it's going to use Glide Bomb. So because this is not an attack, it is like a talent, Armored actually doesn't protect me. So I do take still 2 damage. And then it will deal damage to that. Alright. So and because now I have survival, because I'm leveled up, I'm really not too worried about that. I definitely knew going in I was going to have to take some hits. Alright, and those guys are all out of range. Here, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I don't have any spires up yet. So I'm going to just still stick with what I'm doing. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to have the Battleborn move up. Dispatch. Okay, so Architect, I'm going to go there, because that is, so I was here, so I am still 1 hex closer. I'm going to use my Builder ability to go ahead and build a dispatch platform. Because what that does is let me either promote a dispatch platform to a siege tower, add an upgrade to an adjacent spire, ignoring upgrade restrictions and ignoring the cost, or place a dispatch platform on an open source well. However, since I'm on the promoted side, it is going to flip me to the unpromoted side, and then once I use it again, that architect will be removed from the board, removed from the field, I should say, but back to my barracks. Let's see, I thought armored on heroes only acted as a single hit point. Oh, yes, you are correct. These, when they're on heroes, only act as a single hit point. The reason I didn't remove it, though, is because Cram does have the armored talent, which specifically means when he gets attacked, he gets to reduce the damage by 1. So, yes, sorry, I definitely see how there's the confusion there. When they're on spires, yes, they need 2 damage in order for it to remove. Heroes 1, but armored sort of let me take advantage of that extra health. Alright, so then I've moved all my guys. Now, so the high rise is going to target something it can kill. Yeah, and it will, actually that'll be any. So, never mind. And so what's actually really nice here is spires will always factor in their highest damage when deciding their target. So, while if it only rolled a 1, it couldn't damage Cram. If it rolls a 2, it can. So we'll still view Cram as a hero it can damage. And since it can't kill the Battleborn, so I'm going to have it attack Cram. Hopefully roll a 1 and be okay. Yep, I'm okay. Alright. This one here is only in range of the Battleborn. That's a 1. And then this one here is in range of both the Dispatch and the Battleborn. And it can kill both, so I get to choose. I'm going to have it go for the Battleborn. Okay, so the Battleborn is gone. I got my new one. Oh, yes, I see someone's commenting on my hoodie. Yeah, it was actually really funny when Navaro mentioned Legion from Mass Effect, and I noticed I'm wearing my Mass Effect hoodie even. Alright, okay. So now I get to attack. I'm gonna attack the Battleborn. With Cram. It's gonna attack the Harrier. Cram gets another upgrade. Nothing's really coming out that has 4 health, but it might down the line. I'm going to take a fortification upgrade. And then destroyed that, so I have 3 source. Okay. Alright. So then it's their turn. Okay. So here's an interesting situation. So they have to use their full movement, but it's the same as like with AI. They have to use their full movement if possible while still making forward progress. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the choke point. So if he was there, he is 1, 2, 3 away. If he goes here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So he can't go there. He's gonna go there. Joust. Moves up. All right. Quick strike happens. Taken out. Get one source. And then not in range of anything. All right. So then it's back to me. I am going to use my builder. Well, I'll start with my most leading minion. That would not be any closer, so he's not going to go around that way. So he's going to stay where he is. You're going to move there. I'm going to be a bit aggressive here. All right. So then Spire's Fire. I'm going to have this one attack the Battleborn first. And so this is a... Oh, also I'm going to use that. I'm going to promote that. Okay. All right. So this is definitely a good example of where you can really manipulate the AI. Because obviously, if I was going up against a human player, that Minaret would definitely want to try and focus Cram and use this one to take out the Battleborn. But because I get to choose which order the Spire's Fire in, this one views the Battleborn as a enemy it can defeat, whereas Cram it cannot defeat. So I'm going to attack with that one first, making the Battleborn the priority, and then this one will then have to attack Cram. All right, so for one, almost actually survived there. That would have been cool. Okay. All right, and then this one here, yeah, it's going to go for Cram. 1, armored. Once again, the talent, armored, not because of this, but I do get to keep it. All right, so then attack. Go ahead and attack the Harrier for 1. Okay, cool. All right, and then you attack that. All right, so then now the Harrier gets to go. All right, can't attack anything. Joust goes to there. Ooh. I'm going to have it attack the Harrier. Source. All right. Joust can't attack anything, so. All right. Oh, first thing I'm going to do here, actually, is I'm going to spend 3 source, 1, 2, 3, and 4 source. So I'm going to spend a total of 7 source to add an attack upgrade and a ranged upgrade. So that's one of my limited build actions. So even though I built 2 upgrades, since they're on the same spire, that still only counts as 1. So, because you can, in a limited build action, you can upgrade a spire as many times as you can afford, or there are restrictions. All right, but raise does not get to trigger yet, because that's at the very start. So next turn, I'll be able to use that. And this is something also, too, you want to watch out for when you're playing these scenarios. We often love to design these scenarios with a specific mechanic we want to feature, while by no means is it ever the only strategy. Like I'm looking at this one, I'm seeing like, oh yeah, you could really put maybe a focus on Forsaken or Source Sieges or something like that. For this one, though, I definitely think we really wanted to push the, and I haven't heard confirmation from the actual designer, so this is just my hunch, but I think there's a really big focus on using Raise in this one, because if you put a tower here, maybe get a tower there, you can really start to do a lot of damage to this. So I want a siege tower up as soon as possible. All right, so then Dispatch gets to go. Gonna go there. All right. so I am going to have. You know, I'm willing to risk taking an extra damage. I'm gonna have this one attack. Oh wait, no. Wait, I'm gonna have this one. Shoot. This one has to attack dispatch. Never mind. Okay, so this one has to attach the dispatch. But maybe I'll get lucky. Yes. Okay. All right. Then this one. This one will actually also attack the dispatch because it can do a maximum of 2 damage. So I'll view the dispatch as a unit. It can defeat 1. Whew. That's lucky. Okay. Yeah, because that joust would just absolutely destroy my convict underneath, and I do not want that. So I am going to have both of these units. So Cram's going to attack, and the dispatch is going to attack. So I do not want another Elfinkazi spawning next round. Okay, so now the joust gets to go. It's going to move there. Does have quick strike, so it gets to attack my dispatch before my convict comes out. Oh, I think the Harrier is going to end up destroying my convict anyway. Okay. Alright, so now Siege Tower. Unless maybe I can... Whoop! Alright, I'll count that. If I can get a 2 here... No, okay. Alright. So... now it's my turn. Battle Hardened. It's going to stay there. This is still going to view the convict as something it can defeat. Because even if it rolls 2, Battle Hardened reduces the attack by 2. So it reduces the attack by 2. So if it rolls double 2s, it will take out the convict. So, oh, actually, before that even happens, I get to use Siege Tower against the Minaret. Yeah, thank you. Raise. Yep, here we go. That's why I built it. Okay. Alright, so this does work the same as like any other attack against Aspire. So I don't get to remove... I did 3 damage, I don't get to remove 3 upgrades. Additionally, these do require 2 damage, so if I had only rolled a 1, I would not be able to remove 1, which is why it's definitely super important to have at least 2 upgrades, 2 attack upgrades on these, to really increase your chances, because if you're only rolling with 1, you have a 1 in 6 chance each time you attack. And while, yes, you can get 2s and eventually whittle it down, while all that fortification's there, you're definitely going to want that extra attack. Okay, now movement. Alright, do I want to move you? There's not really much point, so I'm going to keep you there. Okay, so this is going to go against my convict. I'll get to reduce it by 2 because of Battle Hardened, so it doesn't take any damage. This is going to go against Cram. 1. Armored, so it reduces it by 1. Doesn't get to take any damage. Okay. So then I get to attack. Convict is going to take out the Joust. Sadly, this Harrier is going to take out my Convict. But at least I could use Battle Hardened once, so it did help me. Okay. Alright. Cram's going to take out that Regal Lookout, so I don't need to worry about any more Elfinkazi in future waves, which is super nice. Which means Cram can roam free. Alright. I like how your top matches your can. Oh my gosh. That is just a natural effect of us having Coke Zero all over the office. I suppose anytime someone wears red and black, they'll probably end up matching one of these cans, but yeah. Alas, they haven't bought the orange vanilla ones, which if anyone's been following the behind the scenes CTG lore, that's my favorite. Alright. Okay, so that concludes my turn. Cram's already fully upgraded, so he doesn't get another upgrade. I do get Source though for that. Which is 3. Did I also not get my Source for defeating the Joust? I did not. So That's 2 source. Okay. Doesn't your Spire have range on the Harrier? It does. Unfortunately, the Harrier's got Quick Strike, so the Quick Strike is going to allow it to attack before Spire's fire. So I'm not worried about the Harrier getting anywhere near my base, but it will take out the Convict before I get a chance to take it out with the Siege Tower. Dart needs to be more subtle with the Coke Zero product placement. I will be as subtle as I want to be. Thank you very much. It's our new licensed game. So we're making a Coke Zero board game. I can't even joke about that. I can't. All right, here we go. Okay, so their turn. Harrier, gonna take out my Convict. Alas, poor Convict. Okay. Now my Siege Tower gets to go. 2. Takes it out. 1 source. And we all go into, well, not really going into Campfire because the wave ends. All right, so looking pretty good. I got to take out 2 Spires. I've got a Siege Tower in a good spot. I've got Cram in a good spot. Because even when they deploy from here, the one thing is I am a bit nervous about is Darb is going to come out this next wave, and Darb is going to just go for me. However, with Armored and that extra health, and I deal 3 attacks, so I'll be able to take Darb out on his basic side. He'll, of course, dodge. We'll get to that. Yes, this is the very first scenario. We definitely know it's sort of like a kind of, as the Joshes said earlier, it's a bit of a shock when people go from PvP to this, because it does work quite a bit differently. A lot of different strategies. But we also didn't want like the Brawnen to have less content, as it were, like to have their first scenario be like a tutorial, as it were. But we are actually making a tutorial scenario. And that'll be in the new rulebook, so if you're getting a new print, if you're getting the print upgrade pack, or update pack, or even if you're not, we'll be posting that on the website. So everybody who has a copy of Cloudspire, with whichever version, will be able to try out the tutorial. All right, so roll the event die. 6. No. Oh, wait, no, actually, oh, wait. Yes, no, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, sorry, I thought that was the one where you had to add an attack upgrade to Darb, but this is the one where I add an upgraded Joust to the bottom, which I really like because it's like two extra source, so yeah. All right, okay. Yeah, because if it got the extra attack upgrade, then you'd actually be able to do a bit more damage to Cram. I don't want that. Okay, so income phase. No income. Also, this is another thing I wanted to mention too. I know Brawnen, it's very popular, and for good reason, to buy the drilling refinements early on, because you get like extra source in the income phase. However, it is important to realize, so you have to sort of do a bit of the math as to if it actually is worth it. Because if you do it in wave 2, you'd lose out 3 source, and then you'd break even in wave 3, and then it wouldn't be until wave 4 that you actually like make a profit. And that's a huge sacrifice to get rid of like the potential of upgraded Battleborns or something like that. Yes, update, not upgrade. I think I made that slip. I tried to correct myself, but yes, it's not an upgrade. The components are staying the same, so it's not like with like old editions of Too Many Bones where like the mats weren't edge stitched and we're upgrading it to edge stitched. It's nothing like that. There are rules updates, clarifications, some stat changes on some of the chips, things like that. Yeah, so update pack, big difference. More so scolding gasket. Okay, that's fair. All right, market phase. So they'll clear out. Oh, once again, equipment sounds so nice, but it would be hard to get. Babel is really expensive, so I don't think I want that. The bunker. The bunker could be nice, just as a way to deny a source well. But, oh, and this. Ooh. That's a really good one, but that will definitely create more open source wells for the minaret to be built. So I'm actually going to refrain. I'm going to keep my source. All right. Okay, so build phase. They do not have any scripted build phase, so they get upgraded Harrier on its own, upgraded Joust with 2 upgraded Harriers, upgraded Darb, those. Okay. All right. And just because, so it does say to add it to the bottom. However, of course, that does create an issue with minions having to move before. I know with AI, we sort of break the rules a little bit. So that's why I'm not moving this around. So like, while AI heroes, they are still heroes. They're not minions unless it, like, there's some scenarios where it says just treat it as a minion. But we do break the rules a little bit with their like deployment moves and like how they can move in between. So like I'm gonna just keep that there, but I just wanted to address it in case anyone's like noticing it and is confused. All right, so then for myself, I have 9 CP. Oh, I have a build phase. What am I? This is the second time I've forgotten the build phase. It's so important. I'm gonna do. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna do upgraded dispatches. There's a part of me that wanted to build just 2 drilling outposts for that extra wave 4 source, but yeah. Okay. All right, so 9 CP, 6. I destroy cans in 1 drink. Ryan, I'm with you actually. If I wasn't trying to also talk, that thing would already be gone. It's sort of like if there's a drink in front of me, it goes quick. Same with food too. All right, I'm gonna do 3 Battleborns in 1 dispatch, and I am actually, I don't know. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna see what happens if I don't group any of them. I'm definitely relying on Cram to do some of the remaining heavy lifting, at least for this wave. So we'll see how this goes. Alright, but I want the dispatch second, so I'm going to do... Well, this is fun. Okay. This is my favorite part about this game, is sometimes just doing weird things people wouldn't sort of... I mean, obviously, the AI can't expect anything, but I'm doing a Battleborn, dispatch, Battleborn, Battleborn. We're going to see how it goes. My hope is I can maybe stagger those last 2 Battleborns behind the dispatch. We'll add that to the list of possible promo chip ideas, as a Battleborn. Okay. All right, so Brawnen get to go first. Okay, he has nowhere to go, so he's going to stay there for now. All right, Cram. I'm going to go... Oh! Nobody yelled at me for raise. At least not yet. Here we go. Raise. Okay, well, that happens. That happens. All right. So, Cram's going to go first. I'm going to go there. Spire against Cram. Okay, so it does 2 damage, so I only reduce it by 1, so that does get lost. Okay, and I'll attack one of those. Okay, so we got the Harrier. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now this is an interesting situation because while I did the whole weird movement thing, it actually probably wouldn't have mattered in the end because Joust is going to displace Darb back to there. Okay. Yeah, nothing's in range, so okay, here we go. Alright, and then Graham, you're going to move. You're going to move there. Okay, Spire's Fire. This is going to... so it's going to go for someone it can kill. Because it can't actually kill Cram, even if it rolled 4, it would still only do 3 damage. It's going to look at all of these, well, these ones who are in range. I am going to have it attack one of my back Battleborns. For 1, look at that. There's a nice, easy landmark that's begging to be revealed right there. Yep, that's what I'm hoping for. If nothing else, too, I have this. So, we're going to take a look. Ooh. I wouldn't be able to kill it, and it would retaliate for 3. That's not ideal. So I'm probably going... Oh, the Harrier's going to come in, deal some damage. Actually, yeah, maybe I can take it out next turn. So I'm not going to attack with Cram. Oh, wait, no, the Harrier's going to come and take it. Darn it. Do I want to reveal it just yet? Oh, wait, no. Oh, my gosh. Guys in the chat are probably like, what are you doing? Yeah, 2 damage there, 2 damage there. There we go. 3 source. Okay. All right. So then Cram gets to get upgraded. There's really no reason for me to... Oh, the Joust's at 4. Yeah, I'll take an attack upgrade. I have survival, so I can use that if I need it. Okay. All right, so then Harrier's good to go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Darb's going to try and work his way to Cram. Oh, 2. All right. Now, Spire's Fire. I will go ahead and... Yeah, because I can hopefully take out... 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go for the Harrier. Okay. Source. Alright, they don't get to attack anything. So now it's raise. I think I might have forgot to do that last turn. Oh well, that's my bad. 2. Oh, that was good. Okay, take that out. Alright, do I want to build a spire? I can't build another disc or a siege tower, so... And I can't build lance launcher. So I'm not going to build a spire just yet. Maybe save it all for next wave. Okay. Movement. Alright, he's going to go there, which means he's going to likely go for Cram. I don't want that. Unless... No, yeah, he is, because... No. Yeah, I'm going to have Cram move back for now. Okay, so then... This minaret... I'm going to have it attack this Battleborn. Because that Battleborn's probably going to just get destroyed by the jousts. 2. Okay, so he still lives, which means he still gets a hit in. Gets this. Dispatch. Very tempted to use Splash here, but Cram can one-shot these jousts, so I'm not going to use Splash. Okay. Alright. So then they get to go. Alright, so he's going to go here. Now, even though he's still got movement, he's not going to move there because that would be the same, and so he's going to make the forward progress and stop. If he was coming from like back here, he would, because that would still be closer, but from where he was, he's going to just move the one spot. Alright, and then Darb comes flying in, still going for Cram. Alright, Quick Strike is going to do a Fury Kick, take out the Battleborn, and this is why I was very much so certain this guy was going to be defeated pretty soon here, because this Joust would have Fury Kicked with Quick Strike, then this Joust would have Fury Kicked with Quick Strike, so yeah, he would have been. Alright, so that guy can't attack, so now I get to use my Siege Tower. I'm going to go ahead and use it against this front one. 2. Alright. Okay, no one else can attack, so back to me. Probably should have put this guy a little bit further back. Yeah, he has to go there because those will both be not making any progress. This guy, however, yeah, that's the only spot he can go to. So I might as well go there. Because if he went 1, 2, 3, he'd be the same distance from the choke point, so Warbriar is my favorite too. Oh yeah, I do like the Grove Tenders quite a bit. Let's see here. Okay, so Spires get to... Oh my gosh. I need like an alarm bell for that raise ability. Okay, well it doesn't. I don't get to use it. Okay, so then Spires Fire. This is going to go for... Oh, do I? I probably want to move Cram though. No, I'm gonna just survival up. Okay, so Spire's Fire. This is gonna go for any of these because it can technically take out any of those. I'm gonna have it go for the Battleborn in the back. 2. Yeah, that was brutal. Yes, this is live. It's our first time doing a live playthrough, so I was obviously excited. But yeah, I can read everything you guys are writing in the chat here. Aren't you forced to use your full movement as a lateral move? Lateral moves are always optional, and so you never have to do a lateral move. Even if by not doing it you're blocking a minion behind you, you can still choose not to do the lateral move. There's that situation where, because he was here and then he moved up to there, so that he did make progress. You moved 1, but moving 3 keeps you at the same distance. Yeah, so I moved 1 because it did, yeah, it let me get 1 space forward. Okay, awesome, cool. I know it's sometimes a bit tricky, but yeah, if they can make progress, they will make progress, even if they won't use their full movement, versus a lateral move that uses their full movement. Okay. So, now I get to attack. I'm going to have the Dispatch go for... I really want to go for Darb, but at the same time, I want to take out that Joust, because then it's going to Fury Kick, and that's going to be a nightmare. Yeah, I'm going to have to go for the Joust. Okay. It's 2 Source. I feel You are not a jerk for asking. Josh, thank you for asking. So my Gearlock name is Dart. That's usually what most people know me by. But otherwise, my name is Salem. So I know there's, and if anyone's interacted with me before, like through customer service or whatnot, there's probably going to be a little bit of confusion of that. But yeah, so I apologize in advance for any of that confusion. But yes, so I'm Salem or Dart. Most people call me Dart anyway, so. All right. That's all my attacks, because these guys are out of range, so then they get to go. Harrier's there. Once again, the joust is going to stop there, because if he goes there, that's just a lateral move, so he's going to use the progress. Quick strike. Or I suppose I should move Darb here. Darb's going to still go for Cram, so he's going to go around that way, which is nice. As my dispatch gets to live. Okay, now Siege Tower. Alright. Can't attack Darb, which is a shame, but I am going to... I'm going to go for the Joust. No, I can one-shot the Joust. I'm going to go for the Harrier. Okay, cool. There we go. Alright. Can't attack, can't attack. Perfect. Okay, so raise. Remember raise. Yes. Oh, yes. Last fortification. Okay. Alright, so now I get to move. These guys are all stuck, so they're going to just stay where they are. Cram is going to move up to take out this Joust. So that's 4 damage. 2 source. Okay. Oh, hi. Spire's Fire. Oh my gosh. This is what happens when they hype me up as the Cloudspire expert, is I forget the most fundamental rules of the game. Alright, so he's going to be there. These guys move. But I'm going to have these guys take the damage from the minaret anyway, so... I want to be able to get a hit on Darb with the dispatch, so I'm going to have a go for this one in the back. There we go. I always imagine Tantrum on one of the Brawnen towers yelling rage. Yes, Tantrum would absolutely go with the Brawnen. 100%. Alright. Okay, so now I get to attack. I'm going to one-shot the Joust. For 2 source, I believe I already gave myself that. Dispatch is going to hit Darb for 2. And the reason I did that is because once Darb uses dodge, he does flip over, removes upgrades, but keeps his current health. So if I can keep Darb at 1 health before he uses dodge, that means he'll only have 1 health on his other side, which is a lot better than him having the 3 health if he just went for Cram and I one-shotted him back as a retaliation. This guy can't attack. Okay. So they go there. Quick strike takes out my dispatch. And Darb moves up to there to attack Cram. I get to block 1 damage because of the armor. That is going to flip Darb over. So now this is actually really nice because Darb can't attack Cram. And so the rules do specifically call out that while Darb will still, like... So he focuses Cram, and if he can't go for Cram, he's going to go for the opposing Fortress Gate. If you look at the attacking priority, he will only attack Cram if damage can be done. So since Darb only has 1 attack now, damage cannot be done against Cram. So Darb will go for the Fortress Gate instead to try and deal damage, and will still attack things along the way. Alright. So, that was their attack. I get to now use my Siege Tower against the Harrier. Okay. get to use raise. There we go. Really sad because it's probably going to be the end of my Battleborn here. I don't want Darb to attack this though, so I'm going to move Cram here so that he has to go there to get, okay, because that'll protect my siege tower because he can damage the siege tower. Alright, so I go there. Minaret's going to go for the Battleborn. Maybe I'll get lucky. I do not. Okay. Alright, that ends the wave. Oh boy, alright, okay. Still a decent amount of work to do. Because I have to take that out. Let's see the best way to do that. We'll figure it out. We'll play it by ear. Alright. So, final wave. Roll the event die. 5. That's another joust to the bottom. There. Okay, income phase is 0. Clear the market. Can't deploy any other heroes. Sorry, Barry Brund, but you are not going to be selected. Nomad is tempting. That high movement could be nice, but such low health, so I think I'm going to refrain from the market once again. I'm just too excited by what I actually can build in my own. Alright, so then their build phase, add an attack upgrade to the bottom of an air spire of your choice. I'm going to add it to the minaret here because I can hopefully just undo it right away with raise. And then I also have to build the heirs construct a minaret spire on a source well of your choice. So I pretty much have the pick of the litter for sure. So I'm gonna go here. Just starting the mission. I'm actually in the last wave. However, I'm pretty sure you can rewind the live stream. And I believe we'll be posting this, maybe?
Yes.
Yes, we are going to be posting this after the fact too. So that will give you a good way to just start from the beginning if you'd like. Okay, so then I get my build phase. What do I want? I think I'm going to go... Let's see, if I use 9, that'll give me 3 left over. We're going to try this. I'm going to spend 6 source to get Brawnen steel, so now I can build siege towers and lance launchers. But I really want the next one, which is going to allow me to deploy source sieges on their promoted side. And the reason I want that is because this has 4 range and 2 damage. So it's going to pack quite a punch, and it'll definitely help me whittle this down before I even get close to it, because I'll be able to attack from like these spires here. So I definitely want that. Alright, I have 3 source remaining. I don't have any reason to take 3 source for anything, so I'm not. I'm going to save that in case I need to build anything during the wave. Alright, so I'll go ahead and build up their deployment stack. going to be a Windrush and a Royal Talon, and then 3 upgraded Harriers, and then of course that remaining Joust who's this. Alright. Okay. Now what do I want? Well, I definitely want the Source Siege. I have 11 CP at my disposal. I'm going to take a Source Siege and a Dispatch, so that's going to be 9. Alright, and also important thing to keep in mind too, that for transport, you're able to ignore the normal restrictions regarding minion movement with grouping. So the Source Siege is faster than the Dispatch, and normally that would mean you can't group them, but because of transport, you're able to do that. So, and that's mostly so like you can't deploy like a, you know, like a grizzled oak under a tree or something if you're playing as the Grove Tenders, because like they are super slow and you put them under this fast unit. So normally that's not allowed, but transport does allow you to bypass that. So that's going to be 9 and 10, 11. They're Battleborn. Okay. Alright, so the heirs get to go first. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Darb is going to move here. Now, because Darb can't do damage, I know Shannon's watching, so if she sees me break this rule, she'll probably say something in chat. But at the very least, this is not going to help me. So if anything, if I'm breaking a rule, it's to make it harder. But the attacking is Darb will only attack Cram if damage can be done. There's nothing else for Darb to attack. So like for normal minions, obviously that would still mean Darb would have to, but because it's a hero, doesn't have to. Because then it would just be no damage, and then I would take out Darb. So I'm gonna, so Darb's not gonna attack Cram. Which means then I get to go here. Or, sorry, Spire's fire, but it's flying, so nothing. Okay, because, 1, 2, 3, okay. Alright, so get to use Raise. Use Raise against the Minaret. Actually, no, I'm going to use Raise against this. Okay. Shannon is typing. I messed up, didn't I? Okay. Alright. Here we go. Oh, I got it. Yay, I did get it. Okay. It's important to realize that the AI aren't always, like... They're sometimes smart. Okay, so... There. Okay. So I'm going to use the Source Siege to attack Darb. Take out Darb. I get 1 source for that. Oh, I gotta move everybody. Right. Cram's gonna move there. Okay, so that's gonna now attack Cram. 1. Nothing happens. Alright, there we go. 1 source. Okay. Then they get to go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, they're not in range of anything, so I get to use this. I'm definitely going to try and use it on that Windrush. I want that thing gone as soon as possible. That could have been better. Oh, wait. Oh, I can go in with... cram here. Okay, so now it's my turn. I'm going to use raise against the minaret. 2. One of those. Okay, so cram is going to move here. Here, yeah. 1, 2. Okay. Source Siege, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Battleborn. Alright. So cram is going to use the 4 attack, because it's got 2 plus 2, so 4 attack to take out the Windrush. I do not get any source for that, unfortunately. Oh my gosh. I keep missing this rule. Alright, this is the Spire again. Yeah. Alright. There we go. So then this is going to attack for 2. And Battleborn cannot do anything. Okay. Alright. So then they go. The Royal Talon is going to move past that way. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is an example where it will use its full movement, despite that being the most progress. Because it still made progress from where it started, it is going to use its full movement. So we're just going to end there, which I do like. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. And 1, 2, 3. I like that a little bit less. But at least Fury Kick is nice, because Fury Kick does only trigger against minions. When attacking a minion. So it's not going to use Fury Kick. It is still going to get Quick Strike, so it gets hit me for 1 because of armor. And then I get to retaliate for 4, so that's really nice. It's 2 swords, which is perfect. That's just what I need. Right. So then the Harrier can't attack anything. Alright, so my turn. Use raise against the minaret. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to use a limited build action. I'm going to spend 6 source to build a siege tower there. Or wait, no, I don't have influence there. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Pivot. Not that. I'm going to build a lance launcher. Here. And also, that Royal Talon did attack that. So. Okay. Which, oh my gosh, oh no! Oh, I'm failing everybody in the chat. I'm sorry. If it attacked that, it would have been out of range, so that still has that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Feeling the heat of the lights, in case anyone's starting to notice. Okay. Okay. Yes. So I still build that. In which case, do I still want to build that? Yes, I do still want to build that. Okay. Alright, so then it's so now I get to move my guys. Okay. Alright, so I built that. That's 1 build action there. Okay. So first things first, I'm going to move Cram there. Let's go 1, 2, 3 there. And deep breaths and remember it's only a game. Thanks for the playthrough demo. You are very welcome. And thanks for the kind words. Alright. Okay. There we go. Alright, so now Spires fire. And yeah, because that siege tower no longer in range, so I can't use raise. It's just this one, and it does see Cram as someone it can defeat. So it's looking very spooky there, Cram. If I got a 2 there, I would have died. So pro tip, don't do what I just did. Because if I rolled a 2, a 1 and a 2, that would have killed Cram, and that is a loss condition if Cram dies. So, yeah, you probably don't. Is there a cost difference between the Lance Launcher and the Siege Tower? No, they are both 6 source. So I unfortunately don't get to refund any source for that change. But yeah, so Cram could have died there. In retrospect, that probably wasn't the best idea. But I'm being bold. Okay, so now I get to attack. I'm going to attack with Battleborn, attack with Cram, and because I have that Lance Launcher there, I am going to go ahead and attack with the Source Siege against the Minaret as well. Although those Harriers actually will do a number on me. So, never mind. I am going to use the Source Siege to attack one of those Harriers. Okay. If I got more source from that, maybe I would have taken that risk, but alas, I will not. Okay. So then it goes back to them. Let's go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Quick Strike. Quick Strike's going to attack that. I do get to use my Lance Launcher against the Royal Talon first. Okay, this is getting really spooky, actually. Against that. Okay, but I think I still got this. Okay. So I'm going to move Cram back here. 1, 2, 3 there. Source Siege 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ray's obviously not in any spot, so I'm going to have Cram take out the Harrier. Get 1 source for that. And then I'm going to have the Source Siege take out that Harrier. Because I have to protect my base. And it's also important to realize, like, I'm going to get one of the... Oh, this attacks the Battleborn. For 2. Oh, 2? No! So it's important to realize, like, I'm definitely going to get, like, right here, the Battleborn is going to take out the Minaret. So I have completed 1 objective. So as long as I don't die, as long as Cram lives and my Fortress Gate lives, I complete the scenario. Of course, I don't want to get too cocky because if I roll a miss on that Lance Launcher, I'm done. And Gilly will be so disappointed in me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should put more defenses up. Okay. Alright, so it's their turn. Here we go. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Yes, there we go. Okay. I was going to say, if I rolled a miss there, I probably still would have just considered it a 1 just for the sake of this tutorial, but also very much no stress that I'm probably doing some high-risk stuff here. If it's your first time playing a scenario, I wouldn't necessarily recommend being as risky, because remember, if you just complete 1 objective, you're good. Cram is obviously going into Campfire here. But I get 4 source for that. Nice. Okay. Which, I don't know if that really helps me, because I don't think I can... That's not going to give me enough source to build another. Alright, but here we go. Okay, so 2, 3. 2, 3. That's going to go against the Battleborn. And take it out. All right. Fortunately, I have a pretty good, really good unit here, and because I'm out of range there, I think we all know less than 3 renown is a loss. Well, I think I'm going to be okay because I have this source siege, so even when I plant myself there, I'll be in range, and I think I have more than enough health, especially with my dispatch. So I think I've got this. Okay, so my turn. It's out of range. So I really can just, yeah, I think this is it. I think that's pretty much game. Because I'll just sit here and not get spires. Take that out. Gain 3 source, not that I need it. And then I sit here and I blink at this. So 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and destroy it. And even if this were to have died, I still have the dispatch there. All right. Okay. That went a lot better than I was expecting, with a few scary moments for sure, both with Cram dying or taking just one more hit from that Royal Talon. But yeah, so there's sort of a playthrough. And what's, like I said too before, what's really exciting about this is the strategy, like there's so many different strategies that you can take based on what the game gives you. So it is important to have like a good idea. Like in my mind when I set this up, I'm definitely like, all right, I really want to focus on a siege tower. But I was not expecting to want to invest in the source siege itself. Because I don't think I've actually really used one of these before in this scenario. I think I've used a Forsaken in the past, but I've really heavily relied on my siege towers. And despite getting one early on, I only got one. I know there's been a few times where I've even had like 1, 2, maybe even 3. Like I was excited to build one there, and I realized I actually never built one there, so I didn't have that. So I pivoted and was like, all right, last wave, we're doing a source siege, and I honestly think it was the thing that saved me and let me win that last wave. However, depending on what kind of situations you get. So while a lot of people love to call, and I agree, a lot of people love to call these scenarios puzzles, but they're definitely like dynamic puzzles. Based on what you get in wave 1, 2, 3, 4, even just based on the setup can really change how you have to think of it. You can usually find a few important details for strategies, but the actual specific turn-to-turn actions are going to vary. So definitely want to be mindful of that. But hopefully this gave you a good jumping off point, at the very least, to dive back into Scenario 1, maybe with some new perspectives. If you've tried it and got absolutely crushed, hopefully this can maybe give you a good idea of what to focus on. If you've done this one before and got all 3 renown, but in a totally different way, that'd be super exciting to hear too. I know a lot of time people come up with just absolutely crazy strategies. Gilly mentioned that I found all of the loopholes or exploits, and while I did find a bunch, I definitely didn't find all of them. But the ones we focused on were which ones sort of make it not fun. It's important to understand that we definitely have designed the ability to exploit different things. So if you find something that really turns it into your favor, don't feel like you found it's not like you found like a glitch or something, but rather a way to use the mechanics in your favor, perhaps in a really creative way. 100% that source siege saved your bacon. Yes, it saved my cured meats, as it were. But I think that's everything. I think that concludes this playthrough, but also concludes this episode of CTGTV. I know we budgeted some time here because we weren't sure how fast this was going to go, but I think that concludes it. Someone will yell at me if I'm wrong, but otherwise, I guess I will say I'm signing out, and I will see you all later. But have fun in Cloudspire.